What is going on, everybody, and welcome to the Saturday edition of the Stochastic NHL Strategy Show. I am your host, Josh Harris. We were planning on being here yesterday. We weren't. I had a little issue with some of the food I ate, I think. We'll chalk it up to that. No one else in my house got sick, so that's good news. But we're back here tonight, even though it's a two-gamer. It is, unless we run absolutely hotter than the sun this week, this is probably going to be the last Saturday show. Next Saturday, there's a possibility of 4 games. It would be all 4-game sevens. That seems like a statistical improbability. So this could be the last Saturday that we're with you this season. Sad. But we do have a 2-game here. We still have 10K to first. Toronto in Ottawa for Game 4. Dallas in Colorado for Game 4. A couple. Toronto's up 3-0. Colorado's down 2-1. Ottawa is fighting to stay alive here. Honestly, outside of Game 1, if the Sens won Game 2 and 3, I wouldn't have been shocked. Like, they didn't play awful. It's not like the Leafs blew them out of the rink. But it is 3-0 Toronto. And like I've always said about the Leafs, clutch teams find ways to win. And they're up 3-0 in the series. So, helping me to break it down, Slim Cliffy, wearing his Habs hat, got a big win there last night. Both goalies got hurt in that game. This series could be a little bit feisty now.
Yeah, could be. We'll talk about Toronto and Ottawa in a second. So I'll just go over last night quickly. I mentioned this on, I can't remember, it's Twitter or Blue Sky. It was like midnight, man. I was tired. I watched probably 75 of the 82 Habs regular season games this year. That was the best game that they played this year. It was start to finish. Usually they've had a lot of bad first periods, not only in this series but in the regular season. They started strong. I know they went down 1-0, but it was funny. Like, the first 10 minutes of that game, it's probably the best first 10 minutes I've seen them play. I mean, certainly in the playoffs, and maybe like in the last month. I do, Patrick Laine didn't play. I do think a big part of it was that Demidov, Newhook, Evans line was really good. Like, don't get me wrong, Suzuki, Caulfield, and Slafkovsky are running over Washington. And it doesn't matter if they're in Washington or if they're in Montreal, what the matchups are. They're beating the shit out of every line that they go up against. The problem is, the rest of the lines weren't playing necessarily that well. The Gallagher line was fine, but, the Newhook line was getting run over. The fourth line wasn't that great. But Newhook, Demidov, Evans played pretty well last night. And it was the first time in the series that line actually had positive results. So now if you have not only that great top line, but a passable second line, and then you have the Gallagher line kind of as your third line, now you're kind of cooking with something. So we'll see what happens. Just one game. Listen, man, it's a 2-1. It's a 2-1 Washington lead. One game went to overtime. One was a 2-1 game until Washington scored an empty netter with 5 seconds left or whatever it was. So this has been a really close series. It's a winnable series for Montreal, especially with Logan Thompson. We don't have an update on Thompson unless it's one of those he's out for 9 months type of injuries. We're probably not going to get much of an update from him. It honestly could be by the way that it looked, by the way. Charlie Lundgren is a pretty big step down from Thompson. Obviously, Montembeau's out, looked like a hamstring injury. We'll see what Dobish can do. Dobish was good in the regular season, but it's only 14 games, so you don't want to get too high on that. So it'll be real interesting to see what happens tomorrow night. Game 4 goes tomorrow night, Montreal. Obviously, I didn't get to watch a lot of the New Jersey-Carolina game. I only watched the overtime. I thought New Jersey played pretty well. I can't tell if it's New Jersey playing well or Carolina playing poorly. I thought Game 2, New Jersey was at least pretty good offensively. Last night, at least in the overtimes, New Jersey was easily the better team. So that's starting to get to be an interesting series because Carolina is dominating on special teams. New Jersey's turning the tide of 5-on-5. And if Carolina starts losing the 5-on-5 battle, that's one where that series could get a bit dicey. And then our Oilers just can't play a normal playoff game. They tie the game 3-3 late in the second. Like 10 seconds later, Los Angeles goes up 4-3, and then the Oilers peel off 4 goals in like 9 minutes or something in the third period to win 7-4. The difference in that series has been the power plays. The Kings are up to 7 power play goals, I think.
That's more than they had in the regular season.
They're 7 for 12 on the power play in 3 games. Oilers still not looking great, certainly in net, but at least they won to make that series interesting. So pretty good night of puck last night. 2 games on the docket here tonight. Like you said, Toronto trying to close things out in Ottawa. Colorado trying to even things up against Dallas. Looks like some pretty significant lineup changes in Colorado. We'll get to that in a second. Might be some changes on Ottawa's defense as well, and we'll get to that game here off the hop.
Yeah. Let's get into the slate. You guys know the deal. If you're watching at this point in the season, you know if you want to go premium. You click the link in the chat. Stochastic 15% off week or month. Like maybe there's a couple people tuning in for the first time, like, who are these bearded beauties? But most of you are regulars. So let's get into the slate. Toronto heading into Ottawa for game 4. Toronto up in the series 3-0. I don't think Toronto has played great in this series besides, them capitalizing on the power play in game 1. Ottawa's been right there. They just haven't been able to close a game out. Not that they've had a lead late, but they've been in the games. They just haven't been able to win. Toronto going Matthews, Marner, Nyes, Nylander, Tavares, Holmberg, McMahon, Pacioretty, Domi. Ottawa going Tkachuk, Stützle, Giroux, Batherson, Cousins, Zetterlund, Pinto, Grieg, Amadio. Basically, it's going to be kind of similar to how it was in game 3. It's just really like, unless you're looking for cheap depth to go with like a Colorado or Dallas here tonight, it's going to be the power play guys on both sides. And, the two guys, well, arguably like John Tavares is becoming pretty important in this series just because of the pricing. And now on a 2-game slate, it kind of becomes even more prevalent. Like I think, Matthews, Nylander are the 2 most important on the Leafs. And I think I'd go Tavares 3. He's cheaper than Marner. Listen, like Nyes is going to be 5 in the rankings on the power play at his price. So I'd probably go some sort of Matthews, Nylander, Tavares. You want to go Matthews, Marner, Nylander, that's fine. My preference is Matthews, Nylander, and then one of either Tavares or Marner. I'd lean Tavares. But, yeah, like I don't particularly love spending 21-7 for Toronto 1 here. Like, they're fine, don't get me wrong, but, like, we'll obviously talk about Colorado in a minute. They're right around there. They're less expensive, and I'd rather have Colorado here. I do think, like, obviously Matthews is the best play in this game, but full stacking Matthew Marner's Nyes on a 2-game slate at 21,700 is just not the way I want to attack it. So it would be Matthews, Nylander, X. On the Ottawa side, 25% ownership on the Stützle, Tkachuk, Giroux line. 17.5% projected ownership on Batherson, Cousins, Zetterlund. It's just a matter of preference for you. If you're interested in playing Ottawa, and I do have interest in playing Ottawa. At some point, whether it's game 4 next year or game 5, they're gonna break through at some point. But this is their last chance to break through. I don't mind Cousins, Batherson, or Stützle, Tkachuk. I think, if you want to leave off Giroux, leave off Zetterlund, add in a Batherson, add in a Tkachuk, whatever you want to do, it would be the power play guys. Giroux's cheap enough on that line. I think he's 3,600. Like, I guess it's fine if you wanted a full stack. Zetterlund's only 4K. I'd be more likely to leave Giroux on the top line stack than leave Zetterlund on the second line stack. I'm more likely to add in Kachuk or Stützle on the second line. But again, it's the power play guys. If you really need cheap depth, it would be some sort of like Pinto, Grieg, Amadio, or, Domi, McMahon, Pacioretty. I'm not full stacking either of those lines. They're the same price. I'd probably do 2 man of Grieg, Pinto, or Domi, Pacioretty, something like that. I don't think I'd full stack.
Yeah, obviously it is the power play guys we should have the most interest in here. Sound like you said, sounds like a broken record from game 3, but these two teams have combined for 7 power play goals in 3 games. We mentioned on the show on Thursday, like Toronto's 5 forward top power play unit at 12.5 goals per 60 at 5-on-4. Like that's Edmonton 1 when completely healthy, Edmonton top power play, when completely healthy type stuff, like Tampa Bay top power play type stuff. Like it's elite. And Ottawa's top power play unit well above average, not to Toronto's level, but just in a tier down. So like 2 really good power plays, 2 very bad penalty kills. That's basically held up so far in the postseason, obviously. Ottawa giving up the so far on the penalty kill so far in the playoffs, Ottawa giving up the most shots against per 60 minutes. Toronto giving up the 4th most shots against per 60 minutes. Like this is a special teams series. And the point about Ottawa not looking bad is a good one, because I do think that they've had fairly good control of puck possession. I talked about this in our Discord yesterday, that Toronto is, I think, a bad matchup for Ottawa, because Ottawa isn't creative offensively. It's something you and I talked about all through the season, is like Ottawa's not a creative offensive team. They are shoot from the point, funnel pucks to the net, look for rebounds, that type of thing. In the NHL this season, like from using tracking from all 3 zones, Ottawa forwards had one of the lowest rates of high danger passes. And those passes are ones that go across the slot for like a one-timer into a half empty net or from behind the net. Their forwards have one of the lowest rates of high danger passes in the league. I think they were down with like Nashville or something like that. And it's like, just look at Nashville's season. Ottawa was 30th in goal scoring at 5-on-5, I think, for a reason. And Toronto's getting in the way of everything. It's not like Ottawa's not generating shots. It's those shots aren't getting through. I think I tweeted about this morning. Toronto has blocked 67 shots in 3 games, and the Maple Leafs have 65 shots on goal themselves. They've blocked more shots than they've landed on goal themselves. Like, it is a very bad 5-on-5 matchup for Ottawa. Now, can they get a goal? Can they get maybe 2 goals at 5-on-5? Like, yes, they can. I don't think you're going to see a game in this series, even if it goes 7 or something like that, where like Drake Batherson has a hat trick at even strength, or Tim Stützle has 2 goals and 1 assist, all at 5-on-5. I don't think you're going to see that type of thing. So you're going to need to focus on the power play. It's just a matter of where you want to go. Brady Tkachuk has a pretty good point per dollar projection, 1.74 DK points per 1,000. So I think, if you just want to one-off Brady Tkachuk, like Tkachuk has 14 shots in 3 games. I think he has 5, 5, and 4. So he's already hit the shot bonus twice. It's only a 2-game slate. So if you can go over 2x, like a shot bonus plus an assist or something, I think you're kind of fine. So one-off Tkachuk is okay. If you want 2-man Cousins and Batherson, I think that's fine. They're not that bad offensively. I do worry about ice time. Cousins isn't playing that well, and his ice time's kind of starting to reflect that. I think that's a little bit of an issue. Honestly, Ottawa 3 getting the shutdown matchups, again, they're going to have to get some ice time. So like you said, a 2-man of like Pinto Amadio or something like that, I think that's okay. But I'm focusing on the power play guys on Ottawa. It's the same thing on the Toronto side. Like, it is a broken record, but the proof is just in the games and in the goals that are being scored. Like 7 goals in this series have come on the power play. How many goals have there been in the series? Like 19. So like over a third of the goals have been on the power play. So, Austin Matthews, second highest point projection on the board here tonight. I think he's fine as a one-off. I will say, that Ottawa third line isn't that great defensively. This isn't like a Jordan Staal. You know what I mean? It's not like a Michael Backlund in his prime or something like that. They're about league average defensively, especially if you look at their numbers at home. 2.4 expected goals against, 3.5 actual goals against per 60 at home this season for that line in that shutdown role. So I'm fine just playing Toronto 1 because they're all on the power play, but I do think I'd be pretty tempted to, take out Nyes and put in Tavares, or take out Nyes and put in Nylander. I think Tavares might be the guy. Honestly, Tavares has looked great basically since the Four Nations break. I know he went into a slump in the middle of the season a little bit. He's been pretty good for 2 months now. So a Matthews Tavares 2-man or Matthews Tavares Marner, I think that's fine. It's the power play guys. Maybe Ottawa 3 because they're going to get some ice time, but that's about it for the forwards.
Yeah. And if you were not tuning into the NFL draft, Shedeur Sanders got drafted. So we all can move on with our lives now. Maybe Twitter, you can scroll for it's still Twitter, and it's still going to be doomsday. But at least Shedeur Sanders went to the Browns. Dallas Stars in Colorado, Game 4. Dallas up 2-1. Bit of surprise there. I mean, Dallas has played great, but I don't think Colorado has played very well. Maybe that turns around here. Maybe it doesn't. Let's talk about it. Colorado going McKinnon, Netchis, Lehkonen, Nichushkin, Nelson, Landeskog, Drouin, Coyle, Kiviranta. Dallas mixing up their top line, going Hintz, Rantanen, Granlund, Duchesne, Sagan, Marchment, Johnston, Ben, Dodonov. Now, they moved – well, these lines are unconfirmed on the Colorado side. Jared Bednar said same guys playing tonight. He didn't say same lineup, whether you want that coach speak or not. Gabriel Landeskog moved up to the second line in the last game, and he's stuck there. He was also on the top power play.
They had a practice yesterday with these lines.
Yeah. So Landeskog also on the top power play unit with the top line and Makar. It's does that really put Colorado 2 into play? Maybe they're 13-8. I'd be more likely to just go play Duchesne, Sagan, Marchment. But again, I'm going back to Colorado 1 here. They're 20,900. They're $800 less than Toronto 1. They're fully correlated, which for a lot of the time this season they weren't. Listen, Lehkonen I think has 4 power play points on the season, something like that. But he was hurt for a good chunk. It helps. Every little bit on a 2-game slate helps. They're fully correlated. 50.7% top 2 stack. That's kind of bonkers. So, I'm going right back to Colorado 1 here. I'm expecting a bounce back game for them. I would be shocked if they had another bad game. You want to go to Colorado 2, it's fine. One-offing Landeskog because he's on the top power play unit. He may only play 14 minutes, but one-off Nichushkin, he's a good player, whatever. I'm more likely to just play Colorado 1, Colorado power play, stuff like that. I don't particularly love the depth of Colorado, even though, Dallas is, once you get past the top pair, is a mess. It's hard for me to stack Colorado without McKinnon and Netchis. So it's really Colorado 1, Colorado power play for me. The Dallas side's at least a little bit more interesting, and it's mostly price-driven. We talked a lot about Hintz without Robertson, without Johnston. Now, he actually has 2 offensive-minded line mates here. So I don't particularly hate them at 15-8. They're they're coming in at 16.3% projected ownership, a little bit of positive leverage. Like, I don't mind that line. I just prefer Duchesne, Sagan, Marchment. They've just been the better line in the series. They've been the better line. They have a long history together. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm more likely just to go back to Duchesne, Sagan, Marchment at 12,900. I think a lot of people will because of the price. But, you know, if you want to go to Hintz, Ranton, and Granlund, you can't fit them with Colorado. You can't fit them with Toronto without getting a little bit funky. So Dallas 2 for me. Evgeny Dadonov on that third line just is a tough sell for me. You want to one-off Johnston because he's going to play, you know, pretty good minutes, fine. But I don't have a ton of interest in that third line. So it would be Colorado 1, Colorado power play, Dallas 2, then Dallas 1.
Yeah, this is a Colorado 1 game. I feel kind of like Lucy and Charlie Brown with the football at this point because, I mean, Dallas has kind of held Colorado defensively. What I will say is I was looking at some of the tracking data this morning. The high danger passes that Dallas is giving up is all the top line. Colorado has 4 high danger passes at 5-on-5 through 3 games, and all of them are from the top line. It's 3 from McKinnon and 1 from Natchez. So, like, it's not that Colorado's look bad offensively necessarily. It's that the second and third lines haven't really done a lot. Like the McKinnon top line, McKinnon, Natchez, Lehkonen have played 30 minutes in the playoffs, 93 shot attempts and 3.6 expected goals for per 60. They've been good. They're shooting a little under 6%. Like, that's why they're not filling the net, but they've been able to generate pretty well. It's the rest of the lines that have been struggling. Like the Nelson line hasn't been that great. Coyle and Kiviranta haven't been that great. Honestly, the fourth line has probably been the best, been able to create the best quality shots and the most shots on a per minute basis outside of the McKinnon line, that's kind of where Colorado is at this point. So if I'm playing Colorado, it's the top line for me. Like, I do think this is a spot where if you want to, you can even power play stack just because, you know, Landeskog at 3,500, what we're used to with Colorado is if you're power play stacking is like every winger is 6K and above, right? Like Landeskog at 3,500 is a huge savings. You know, McKinnon does lead point projections here tonight. Landeskog's point per dollar value isn't tremendous, but it's certainly not bad, especially for a pretty low price of 3,500 on DK. So, like, I don't mind a Colorado power play stack. Colorado's had 13 power play opportunities in 3 games. They're getting, like, the top line has generated a ton of shots. The power play has gotten plenty of opportunities. They are getting their chances. Do they break through eventually? I mean, I guess we'll find out in 9 hours, but all you can really ask for is for a group this talented to be getting chances, whether it's at 5-on-5 or on the power play. And, you know, it's up to the hockey gods whether they finish or not. I really do like Colorado 1. I prefer them over Toronto. I mean, that's nothing, you know, kind of outlandish. Like if you look at the top 2 stack percentage, Colorado's just over 50%, Toronto's under 40%, the respective top line. So it's, you know, it's nothing new, no new ground being broken. Geez, speak Cliffy. So I don't mind Colorado 1 over Toronto 1 here. Colorado 2, I'd probably let go. I'd rather just one off Gabriel Landeskog than stack the line. Colorado 3, I mean, I guess they're fine. I'm wondering how long it's going to be until that O'Connor, Drury, Kelly line isn't just the third line, because they've been playing much better than the Coyle line. That Colorado fourth line, you know, Drury and Logan O'Connor so far, nearly 30 minutes together at 5-on-5 in the playoffs, 70 shot attempts, 2.4 expected goals per 60. Like they're actually generating something more than the other 2 lines are, the second and third line. So honestly, if you're doing like a Toronto power play stack or something, if I'm taking anything from the Colorado depth, Landeskog is number 1 at 3,500 as a one-off. After that, it's probably like a Drury O'Connor 2-man or like a Drury Parker Kelly 2-man. Like I'd rather play that than Coyle and Kiviranta or like, pay up for Nelson and Nutushkin or something like that. So I think for me, it's Colorado 1, Colorado 4, believe it or not. On the Dallas side, it's funny. I wouldn't expect this Dallas top line to be that good. Hence Granlund, Rantanen. They are all three. They are pretty talented players. Now the defense, I think, is going to be the issue. Is they're going to see a lot of the McKinnon matchup, and I think McKinnon's probably going to run them over. So I think I agree with you here. Duchesne, Seguin, and Marchment is where I would go. They've been pretty high event so far in the playoffs. 63 shot attempts for, 72 against per 60. So games going back and forth when they're on the ice, but they are generating fairly well. If the game doesn't go to overtime, they'll play 14 to 16 minutes. That's not great, but Duchesne's on the top power play. He might get up to 17 minutes or something like that. So Duchesne, Seguin, and Marchment, and they fit with Toronto. So if you're playing Toronto 1, this is one of the lines that you can consider. So I think Dallas 2 would be my preference. After that is probably Dallas 3, just because I'm not so keen on the top line. The fourth line might change depending on warm-up. Also, we were talking before the show. I'm pretty sure one of the beat writers said that puck drop is 9:55 Eastern. The game locks at 9:30 Eastern. We may not know lines before the game locks, just because they are going to be dropping the puck a lot later than anticipated. So just be aware of that if you're playing somebody that might be in or out, like Oscar Back or Maverick Bork or something like that. So for me, it'd be Dallas 2, Dallas 3. I agree with you. I think I'd be more inclined to one off like Wyatt Johnston or one off even Jamie Benn or something like that than I would be to full stack the line. So the only stack I really like on the Dallas side is Dallas 2, but this is a Colorado 1 game for me.
Yep. Before we get to defenseman, we have a $4.69 super chat. He's mixing it up from his classic 420. Maybe he just woke up or something. Thanks for everything this season. Cappy, my man. Kaprizov looks possessed in this series, to put it lightly. And now Vegas doesn't have an excuse, because before it's Eichel was playing 16 minutes. Eichel and Stone both played 24 last game, and they still got whacked. So, Vegas could be in trouble here. Minnesota being fully healthy is a problem for them, it seems like. So, but yeah, thank you for the super chat. And hopefully we finish the season strong.
Yeah, thanks a lot for the super chat. Always appreciate it. Kaprizov, indeed. He's been incredible for the Wild so far in the postseason. Hopefully we can help you out a little bit, Toad. As always, thanks a lot for the support. Hopefully all goes well for us here tonight. We'll see what happens.
Let's talk about those defensemen at the top. These are the guys $5K and up, from most expensive to least expensive. Makar, Sanderson, Harley, Chabot, Riley. I would probably rank them in the order that they're priced. Makar, Sanderson, Harley, Chabot, Riley. Those are really the only guys. Obviously, Taves and Lindell are fine. Those are the only two guys in the 4K range here tonight. So, it's really just kind of do you want to spend up for Makar or do you want to punt? That's basically the options here.
Yeah. Cale Makar has the top projection, but he's not the top point per dollar guy. Jake Sanderson is. Again, it's a good matchup for Ottawa. It'd be nice to see them break through a little bit. So, if you have the cap space, if you're not playing Colorado 1 or Toronto 1 or something, you'll probably have the cap space to play Makar. So I can see him certainly be in a lot of lineups. He does have the second highest projection of any player on the slate tonight. The only player higher and the highest projection for any skater. So I think a lot of people will be playing Makar here. Devin Taves has been getting a lot of ice time. It's not really that big of a surprise. Devin Taves is, the number 2 defenseman on Colorado. What has been a little bit surprising is that he's been playing more per game than Makar. It's not a lot. It's 30 seconds, but I think that's pretty notable. Thomas Harley, he's fine. The Harley, Lindell, CC trio, until Heiskanen comes back, I think they're in play every game. It's just a matter of how much cap space you have left to play with. But I would go Sanderson, then Taves, and Thomas Chabot in that mid-price range. There are some cheap guys Sam Malinsky, he might not get a lot of ice time, but he might be the best offensive defenseman they have that's not on the top pair. So I don't mind Malinsky for super cheap. If you want to play Ryan Lindgren's getting like 21 minutes. He's like their number 3 defenseman now. So Lindgren's under 3K. Simon Benoit. I mean, it's kind of chasing points, but I'm pretty sure every Toronto defenseman's playing between 18 and 22 minutes. And considering none of them are on the top power play unit, there's not really a whole lot differentiating them, in my opinion. So Benoit certainly in play. I'll also mention our boy Artie Zub, the number 3 defenseman for Ottawa. Doesn't get the power play time, but he's only 3,100 and gets good minutes. So I don't mind Zub at 3,100.
I'm not super surprised that Taves is getting more minutes than Makar. I know it was a super short tournament, but I thought Taves was Team Canada's best defenseman throughout that whole tournament. So playoff time. Yeah, I mean, he's really good. Let's talk about goalies here. 4 goalies starting here tonight. 4 playable goalies, in my opinion. I think Ullmark is the least playable. If we're being honest, he has looked a bit shaky in the 3 games this series. I'd probably go. I feel like Colorado's going to have a big bounce back game here. I'd go Blackwood 1, Stellaris 2, Ottinger 3, Ullmark 4.
Yeah, Blackwood does lead projections. It's not by a lot. Him and Ullmark and Stellaris are basically all in kind of the same tier. There are 3 slightly different price points, so it's basically whatever you want to pay up. I think I would probably go to Stellaris. Again, Ottawa is not that creative at 5-on-5. They rely on a lot of perimeter and point shots and stuff like that. So, as long as the Leafs penalty kill doesn't suck, which is always a big question mark, I think Stellaris should be fine. I do think Colorado has a big bounce back game. That's why I kind of don't mind Jake Ottinger here. It's I think this is a game where if Dallas wins 3-1 or something, Ottinger makes 37 saves or something like that. If we'll see what happens. Dallas has been playing exceptionally well defensively, and that's always a concern because you do have to worry about shot volume. But now that the top line's back together, Landeskog's back on the second line, feels like they're going to lean on their top guys quite a bit here. I could see Ottinger facing a lot of rubber. So as long as he doesn't get pulled on 4 goals on 11 shots, I think he could be fine here tonight.
Yeah, for sure. At that price, it's fine, as long as he doesn't do what he did in game 1, but which is always possible. We will not be here Monday. We'll be back on Tuesday. It's looking like Tuesday, Thursday, and then we'll have to see what the schedule looks like if teams start getting eliminated. Who are you liking for? It's a 2 games late, but who are you liking for your hat trick pick?
One last time, it might be for the season, depending on what happens tonight. I'm going with the guy whose jersey is hanging behind your head, and I'm going with Tim Stutzla.
Yeah, very good player. Not great for DFS this season, but it is what it is. I think Colorado bounces back bigly, as they say. I'm going to go with the former Hab, Arturi Lehkonen.
Oh, wish we still had him, but the game is the game.
He would have been a nice fit on that new hook line. But yes, we will be back on Tuesday. Good luck, everybody, tonight, and we'll see you in the Discord.
Good luck tonight, everyone.